Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about three things: the Bowtchet build, Bow, Hatchet, Bowtchet. We'll be talking about the true launch day guide, and we'll be speculating about the release date. Is it going to happen really the 28th of September? Not so sure, but we'll discuss that together. Talk to you in a second. So here's the build. It's quite simple, really. The Bowtchet build. It relies on dexterity because it's a secondary stat for the hatchet, and it's the main and only one for the bow, so you don't really have a choice. If you want to be a bow user, it will be dexterity. But I preferred this one to the spare. I know the spare has dexterity as the main stat, which is good for sure. But my problem with the spare, if we check here, is that it relies on skill shots. In PvP, for example, with the javelin and the vault kick, which I find a bit hard to land personally. I'm a bit of a noob, but I can miss them a lot. They look amazing, but I can miss them a lot. And in the bow, for example, here we can use later in PvP like evade shot. We can use, for example, rapid shot and poison shot. So it could be actually the three. We can change actually one of them if we want, like the second one. I'm not going to take personally rain of arrows, except of maybe, for some PvE content, but otherwise that would be like the two core skill and one of these two most likely. In Hunter you have a lot of passive skills, so that's why I started there actually, because you get like 20% more damage when they're far. You have heavy arrow that fly faster and deal more damage. So, and then you can have actually this one as well, plus 20 damage on opening. Around 100% health, which in solo is opening. So a lot of good stuff there, and then I'm going to respec for here. So this is why I prefer to have like one that, okay, it has some skill shot, etc., but the other one doesn't. Because if you take two with skill shot and you miss everything, I don't know, you feel a bit bad. What I quite like with the hatchet is like it's much harder to miss, except if you go in throwing, of course. But here you go to Berserk, you want actually to get the heal, so you want to invest 3 points in Berserk, and then you want to go, for example, for Raging Torrent, and later on for Fail Rush. So these three are going to be really like the core of the build in Hatchet. So you're going to be really strong. You can sustain a lot in terms of melee, and you can actually have a lot of fun with the bow. So here personally, I'm going to train on the bow. When the game gets released, I'm going to try to get better and better at it. But I have the Hatchet. That's a safe bet, in terms of leveling up. You can see that I tried as well the Rapier and the Fire Staff. They're amazing. You get good mobility, etc. I just find them a lot of skill shot, and I find them a bit clunky, if I may, like the Rapier, etc. I quite like the Hatchet, like you move forward every time you try to hit. So personally, again, when you're a bit of a noob like me, I find it much easier to play with a Great Axe or a Hatchet where you actually movement forward. When the Rapier, it's almost like a movement backward. So I find it even harder to actually achieve what I need to achieve. Fire Staff, cool, but again, like I find the animation of the attack not so nice. I find the Hatchet much more fluid. I think it's one of the best attack, like really fast paced and fluid, so it looks good. It's quite nice. The spare is quite nice as well, but again, too much skill shot, I think. Personally, I will go for, let's say, another range weapon that will require less skill if one day that happens, instead of these ones, like one that's actually like, for example, I don't know, the multi-crossbow or something. And in this case, maybe I will go for a melee skill shot, or if I get really good at one of them and I don't need to think about it anymore. But that's what I think. For the armor, yes, sorry. For the armor, like, so now to stay in light, it's a bit different than before. So you need to actually have everything light and just one piece of medium in order to stay in light, and I suspect it's going to be the same for medium and heavy. You need to have everything in medium and just one piece of heavy to stay in medium. So that's quite a big change, and to be honest, it makes sense. It would have been good to have like the margin to put like maybe 1 or 2 pieces of medium equipment, but well, I think that's okay. I picked like the chest one because I think it's where you get the best value. So like that, actually you still get a bit of armor, and you still manage to actually have the double roll, etc. All this good stuff. Okay, so now on to a bit of gameplay. So I'm not the best or whatsoever, as you know. You saw my last video. This is not like the pro channel, etc. If you want some more pro stuff, you have like Sir Medieval, graphic, etc. Like they have like much more crazy videos. But here it's more like, like if you want to get some insight about what you could play, you can have a quick look. So see here, we removed half of the life, right, of the enemy. This is a level 17, the pirate, and I'm level 11. and I lost 60 or 80 HP, which came back right away because of Berserk. So you can see that actually like you can do a lot of fun stuff here. What I don't love sometimes when I get like weapons like the spear, etc., I feel like if I miss something, like, you know, I need to wait and regen. Here you don't, you know, in between mobs, you can actually regen your Berserk, you can switch back to the bow, you know, like start attacking them and then go for something else. So that's it, really. I'm not going to show you too many of them. Like maybe let's do this one with the Hatchet directly in this case, you know, because like, okay, we got surprised, you know. What I quite like with this build is like, it's okay. If you get surprised, you can still survive. So even look, like I didn't dodge, etc., everything, and I have a bit of lag on my side, but I'm still going to be able to take care of that one. And I would have, again, you know, I'm just going to retreat a little bit in this case, but I could get a potion or whatsoever, and I could keep going. And here we're talking about, like, she was 7 level higher than us, so not bad at all. You know, like, it's quite fun. It's maybe different than Axe Inquisitor build, but the Bowtchet, I find it quite fun. Okay, let's move on to the next part, guys. All right, on to the very important true launching day guide. So this is a bit of a joke, guys. It's just like a quick guide, like about like, okay, pick your server, guys. Like, it's something that you can check the list of servers that are available, of course, your region, etc. That's going to provide you the best ping and where your friends are going to be, because you cannot change really the region or whatsoever. And that's going to be really important to know that before you start, you know, like launching the game for the first time on the 28th. Also, like at the moment, most likely you're going to be able to change your character appearance later, but it's going to cost money, probably $5–10 most likely. So better if you actually pick something that you're happy with, you know, and that you can use for some time. So personally, like I just put the screenshots here, guys. Like it may or may not help you, but like if not, like just keep 20 seconds ahead. But this is just like, for example, the face I picked myself. So it's something that's going to make it a bit easier for me to at the release to pick my stuff, the skin tone. The hairstyle, for example, wanted a cool man bun, but I didn't like their man bun. I didn't think it was a good one, so pick that one, for example. The beard, so you need a beard. If you're a guy, like you need a beard. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. If you're a woman, I understand that you don't want to have a beard, but if you're a guy, I think you should have a beard. And the eye color, so for example, I went for dark blue hairstyle, etc., and hair color, and light blue for the eyes color. I wish I could have light blue color, but like not really. I think that's not gonna happen. But that's it. So that was a quick one, guys. Like just you can stop if you like and check, you know, like okay, like later, and you can imagine your stuff a little bit, maybe, hopefully. Name your character, really important. Pick your nickname. Like if it's John or something like that, good luck. You need to be super quick because this is gonna go like small hot bread, as we say in France. So mine is gonna be the same as usual. It's Aereo. And then we go on to the release date speculation. So this is something that I want to talk to you guys about for some time, and I was like, okay, let's wait that the open beta happens. So as you know, there was a Gamescom reveal, and they announced the open beta, which is now, and that's going to end in like 15 hours or 10 hours, something like that. Now they announced the launching date as well, 28th of September, but they announced that with the last delay, of course. They just reminded it. They announced the Void Gauntlet and gave information about it with developers, etc., having a chat about it, etc., which is a bit atypical before release, right? And if you noticed, the Steam status changed last time, you know, like it was released the 28th of August or something like that before, and now it's planned release date. So I don't know if it's Steam who were like, okay, you're Amazon, but you can't take the piece so much. We're still Valve. We need to have accurate release date. And if you're not fully certain, we cannot put, you know, release date. We need to put planned. So it may be something like that has happened. And this brings me to Diablo 2 Resurrected. I think there's some, I know it's not fully the same audience, but I think there's some overlap in terms of audience with Diablo 2. And Diablo 2 is releasing the 23rd of September. The ladder season is going to start probably like 1 to 3 weeks after that. So I don't think this is the best time to release when you have actually a really old classic that a lot of people are excited about, that has a lot of traction on YouTube, etc., even more than New World for most of it. So I think it's going to be a bit dangerous maybe to release there. So the fact that they talked about the Void Gauntlet, would it make sense that actually the release is going to be delayed by 1 more month? Or maybe a little bit more, or something like that. And the Void Gauntlet goes with this Halloween theme, etc. So I don't know, I have this gut feeling that we're not gonna see the game by the end of the month. There were zillions of changes that were put in the open beta. They said that's just to test the servers, etc. But I don't know. The thing that they could do to make us like feel like, okay, I don't mind waiting so much and not to be burnt out too much, is to put the new weapon in the release date. So at the release of the build. I know if they said like there won't be new weapons at launch, but there won't be new weapons at launch the 28th of September. They didn't say anything else if there was a delay. So I think it will be a PR stunt to be like, you know what, like actually we're not releasing the game on time, but we give you a new weapon, get hyped about it, make loads of videos about it, and like that, you know, it's gonna be ready for release, and people will be more interested into investing in focus and life staff, etc. So this is what I think could happen. I think I'm 50% sure about it. I think like 50% that it's not gonna happen. It's a big MMO. I don't think they can really like screw up the release, so I think it's quite possible that it's delayed again, guys. I don't know what you guys think. I think the PvP scaling, for example, is having a lot of negative feedback. That now actually it's like you cannot switch on PvP anymore. Like before you could for fun, now it's not really a thing anymore. You're gonna get killed really quickly, except if you're like with a group of friends, etc. So I think there's still a couple of things, you know, that they need to nail down, and maybe delaying a little bit could help them and give them time to do so. And that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a good day. Take care. Bye bye.